Finding speakers feels like you've reached the finish line. You send the invitation, you wait, and then that email lands in your inbox. I'd love to speak. And suddenly it feels like a big thing has been crossed off your list. But if you've hosted speakers before, you already know what's coming. Because that yes is not the finish line, it's the starting line. Things are about to get real. And this is one of the biggest things that hosts get wrong when they're working with speakers. We assume that the hardest part is getting them to say yes, and it is a hard part of the process. But booking a speaker is a very visible piece of the work. You can point to it, you can celebrate it, and you can announce it to the world who you've got coming to your stage. But the work that comes after it is much quieter, and it spreads over weeks and sometimes months. And because it shows up in little pieces over time, a lot of people don't even really notice how much work it actually is until they're in the thick of it. So let me walk you through what actually begins once your speaker has given the go-ahead and said yes to joining your experience. Because when you know the whole shape of it, you can start to plan ahead and plan from it differently. Okay, so here's the first thing. Once the speaker says yes, you're no longer trying to book them. You're no longer trying to convince them to be a part of the experience you're creating. They are part of it now, and now you are hosting them. And those are two very different things. From this point on, there are details to collect, decisions to be made, and information to coordinate from this point on all the way through event day. Maybe the first thing you need from them is their bio and their headshot, then a session title, then a description for your website and your registration, then travel details, their dietary needs, their session needs, their slides, then the planning calls and the rehearsal times. And if you're doing a panel, you're now needing to coordinate several speakers all at once and all around each other. And it keeps going well beyond the logistics. You're trying to help them understand your event, making sure that they know where to be and when, helping them prepare and making sure that they feel genuinely welcomed when they arrive. And then after it's all over, you're following up with them, thanking them for being part of the experience that you created, and closing that loop. That yes created every bit of that. That is just part of what hosting speakers involve. And that's exactly where a lot of hosts get kind of caught up, because they think they've just booked a speaker. But what you've actually done is created a relationship that needs tending all the way through the event and sometimes even afterwards. The strange part is that none of these tasks are actually hard on their own. Collecting a bio isn't hard, neither is getting a headshot or confirming flights or scheduling a planning call. Any one of those things can take only just a few minutes. What gets demanding is keeping track of all of them for multiple speakers at the same time. Picture where everyone sits at any given moment. One speaker sent their bio, another hasn't. One's finalized travel, but another one is still trying to pick what flight they need. One sent slides, another hasn't. One responds within an hour, and another takes 2 weeks to get back to you. Every single one of those people is at a different part of the process. Now picture managing that across 5 speakers, 10, 15, possibly even more. The work itself is not the issue. It's constantly trying to figure out where each person stands. Who still needs a nudge? Who's still outstanding? What's done? What's changed since last week? What are we still waiting on? Those are the pieces that a lot of people tend to underestimate. Not the task, but the actual tracking. Because hosting speakers isn't really just a bunch of separate little tasks. It's a coordination problem dressed up as a to-do list. And all that information that you're gathering is feeding into something real. So it's not just an admin thing. And all those details that you're trying to collect are feeding into something real. It's not just some random admin task. It's building towards the actual experience that your speakers have for your event. Your attendees never see this work, but your speakers absolutely do. because every single thing that you do from this point on is going to shape how they experience you and your event. And a lot of the times, all those moving pieces, those things that we're trying to collect, are all going to find itself in something that we like to call a speaker pack. A single place that helps your speakers understand what it is they need to know about your event. It usually includes a welcome message, their event session details, travel information, hotel information, rehearsal timing and details, key contacts, panel information, and timing expectations. Basically everything they need to feel prepared and well taken care of. And oftentimes that care can go past that document. Maybe it's a welcome gift that's waiting in their room upon arrival. Something like a handwritten note, or something small and specific that you know that particular person loves. Basically those little touches that say, we're glad you're here and glad you're a part of this occasion. Those moments don't happen by accident. They happen because of all the details that you're collecting over time. And that's the whole reason that the coordination matters so much. The speaker pack is only as good as the information that you gather. The visible experience that your speakers feel is completely from the coordination that they never really see. And the speaker piece is just one part of everything that's running underneath your event. So much of event day comes from things that you can't see when you're in the thick of planning it. So if you're putting together an event right now and you want to get like a quick read on where it is that you stand and what areas probably could use a little bit more attention, I have a free assessment called the Event Pulse Check. It takes only a few minutes and you'll get your results right away. That way you can catch the soft spots now while you still have plans to make adjustments. You can find the link down in the description. Now, hearing all this, you might be thinking, that's a lot. And it is. But the point of walking through it isn't to overwhelm you. It's just to give you an honest picture of what happens after you have booked your speakers. Because when you know it's coming, you can begin to prepare for it. The things that really catch people off guard are the things that they're not prepared to or prepared for in advance. They just get the confirmation, feel the relief, and then just push forward to the next thing. And then 3 or 4 weeks before the event, that speaker coordination comes at them full force. They're missing bios, they're missing photos. Travel is outstanding, presentations aren't confirmed. There are scheduling conflicts and last minute follow-up. And now you're managing every bit at the same time while trying to get the last pieces of your event together. It caught them off guard because they didn't realize how big of a phase the speaker coordination bit was, and just how real that can get real fast. When you expect this, you can plan for it differently. You build time for it, you put it in your calendar and plan around it. You treat it like a genuine part of your event instead of something that just magically happens after they've been booked. And honestly, that realization changes a lot of things because now you're no longer blindsided by it, you're ready for it. So if the speaker side of things has turned out to be more taxing than you expected, you aren't imagining that. It really is its own beast. The work does not stop when they say yes. In a lot of ways, this is where it actually begins. The bios, the travel, the planning calls, the rehearsals. All those small things that eventually add up to a great experience. And the real challenge isn't the tasks themselves, it's the coordination of all those different tasks amongst multiple people. Which leads to the next problem. Because even when all that information exists, even when it's technically there, it can still be surprisingly hard to answer the next simple question. Where does this speaker actually stand right now? And that's exactly what's coming up next, because your inbox holds a lot of that information. But just because it's in your inbox doesn't mean it can show you the full picture. Click the video on your screen and I'll show you why.